Boom! There we go, Facebook! Guys, namaste. God bless. How are all of you? Happy Friday. Why am I talking like this? I don't know. I'm fine. I'm not having a stroke. But guys, happy Friday to you. Hopefully you're all well. Much love to my Olivia, my middle CEO. I enjoyed some birthday dinner with her, even though we're like a month late. Her birthday was in like friggin' June, the end of June. She's just so busy. And much love to my big bro. I think he's 62 today. Al, happy birthday, man. Hopefully you enjoy. He's retired from the railroad. After 90 years, I have no friggin' idea, but he's been there a long time. God bless him. He's going to retire from there. Today, I had the opportunity to drive past the old place where I retired to for a decade. I had some time today, and it's great because I've been seeing a lot of sequences and synchronicities of numbers. 1111, 555, 222. You know, the guardian angels are on your side. That kind of thing. But they actually were today. I give them credit. I had time, and I was heading down to Wallingford. I had to do some shopping, and I figured I'd go past the old stomping grounds, and this will make sense. I didn't feel like taking the highway. There was construction everywhere. And, there, God forbid you have an issue. I mean, that's kind of relevant what I'm going to say about. God forbid you have an issue. There's nowhere to go. You're in the middle of the road, and nobody's going to stop until they friggin' hit you. Anyway, heading down there, I'm sitting back, the music's on, and just as I pass the old stomping ground, which looks the same friggin' way it did when I left there years ago, and it's amazing how relevant that is about life, and I'll get into that with the quote box tonight. But as I drove past that, a mile up the road was a complete transformation of all the buildings are redone. You go from Meriden, one part, the edge of Meriden Berlin line, into like the heart of Meriden. It's almost like a renaissance of all these new buildings and businesses. I mean, that is transformation. I mean, to me, which is absolutely amazing. But along the way, my light starts flickering on my car. Apparently, my front tire was going flat. And I was like, oh, okay. And I look over to my left, up the road, there's a Town Fair tire, like right there. Literally I went in there, it was a valve stem that had a hole in it. But imagine if that happened on the highway. Getting back to my point about angels, the guardian angels by you. I would have been up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. So much love to the angels that are watching me and got in there, got that baby fixed. But getting back to my quick story about that, going past the old home, I was there for a decade. I mean, it seems like time has stood still. How many of you in life feel that way about yourself? Like literally, you think you've reached your peak, or per se, or this is it, this is life, this is how it's going to be, I'm just going to live it out, and that kind of thing. But if you just look over the horizon, like your imagination per se, look over the horizon, you'll see a renaissance that you can be. And coincidentally, today is National Coloring Book Day. So every day is a new canvas, guys. Every day is a new way that we have as beings here to be something better and create a new canvas, a new portrait, a new lifestyle. If you just look over the mountain that's in front of you. And that took me a long time to figure out because, granted, you're talking to a guy who stayed back. That's even a term now used in school, which wasn't even an honor. It was a disgrace when you were in school. If you stayed back, you were considered stupid. But I just didn't get to work, and I ended up staying back a lot. But what that taught me living in that 12 by 12 was some relevant lessons that I kept doing over and over again. And hopefully this makes sense to you guys because it's really relevant. And I got a recipe from the one and only Jack Canfield, who has helped me in so many ways to replant, and it's out of the quote box tonight, a new seed in life. So out of the quote box tonight, it's not here, it's right down here. When a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows. Driving by my old stomping grounds today was the pinnacle of nothing. It was the pinnacle of the same environment, the same seed in the ground of the shit soil of the shit show that hasn't changed. And I can only imagine how many guys are still in there in that same kind of routine. This is all there is about life. And that's what I had to go through there. And honestly, solitude for me was the most amazing lesson because it taught me what I pulled up from, I think, Rhonda Byrne today. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but this amazing analogy that if you guys repeat this to yourself about what's going on in your life, you'll realize that staying back is not a bad thing. It really isn't. If you're kept back a grade, sometimes we've got to get kicked in the ass a few times to really understand and learn that we are this magnificent flower just waiting to bloom with our desires and dreams and what we want in life. But we got to fix the soil that we're living in, that we're planted in. That, in other words, what we believe in about ourselves. And here's what was written about that, which is quite powerful. The universe will put you in the same situations over and over again until you learn. Until you learn to react differently. Until you learn to think differently. Until you learn that enough is enough. Kind of sounds like my scenario there. Old habits do not open new doors. Old habits do not open new doors. You must eliminate in order to evolve. Though that set of words there, and I apologize for the last sentence on the mix-up, kind of ruined the mood there a little bit. But if you really think about it, that's who we are as people. If we don't learn the lesson the first time, if you don't see the red flags and what's going on, they always, red flags are a big thing on the internet. Red flags, relationships, red flags, this. Yeah, they're there, but do you see them? And it is my question to you. When you realize what you're seeing, you realize where you're going. And sometimes, that happened to me with my allergy medicine. I've been sneezing up a snot storm for the past month and a half, not realizing why I've been getting migraines all the time. And I just had a sneezing attack before I came on. I went to My Pillow 2.0 with up there in the old eyes. Then I realized through my ignorance, which is bliss in my mind, I don't care, I got to get my refill done for my allergy medicine. In other words, I got to take care of what's going on in my life and hence enhance the soil to get better. My point about this is we all have this amazing flower of life in us. We all have this amazing dream, this desire, this amazing soul that wants to expand, but it needs our help. It needs our encouragement. It needs us to nourish it. It needs us to plant it in the right environment for it to grow, and it will just come. And this is the beautiful thing about life. We all have dreams. We all have desires. We all have these things that we want to have, be, and do. But unless we put it in the right environment for it to grow, hence our thought process, our actions, our words, everything about us has to match the frequency of it to create the reality for it. And when you realize what I'm about to tell you from Jack Canfield, it's really simple. It's really simple to once you grasp it, but I get it. Believe me, talking to a guy who has stayed back many times, and what I just read, living in that 12 by 12 for a decade, I stayed back many times. But I just kept replanting the soil. I kept learning. I kept evolving. And eventually, I was able to look up the street, and I saw the transformation of myself. This is what I'm talking about. Transformation is you going from failure to failure until you learn that that is not you. And then you start changing the direction by changing your thoughts, changing your actions, changing how you react. Like today when I got the red light blinking in the car about the tire. I'm saying to myself, God, 10 years ago I would have lost my shit. I literally would have went nuts. I'm like, oh, okay. The light went on, and oh, by the way, there's a Town Fair tire right over there. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that brings you, when you have peace of mind and you are in control of how you react to things and situations in life, you'll realize how easy life can get. And when you start thinking differently about that dream, that it is attainable, that it's not impossible because I'm possible. You just opened a new door to look over the horizon. I've always been a staunch critic of hope. And it's a beggar. No. Hope is preparing you. And I stand corrected on that. I heard the most amazing quote about that. It reaffirmed what I doubted to begin with, that hope was just a beggar. No, hope in life is just preparing you for the next step. You keep hoping, you keep thinking, you keep reacting even better, you keep thinking about better, you're going to bring about better. And most importantly, when you hit the wall, when shit has hit the fan, enough is enough. And that's basically what happened to me. I mean, when I finally, I knew I had all the means to do it. I mean, I literally had all the means to move out of there. I just kept staying back. I was afraid to approach life because I was so used to it being so, what they say, comfortable living in there. Basically financially free. It was easy. Everything was paid for. I say, well, I can just stay here and do what I want to do. Something kept gnawing at me. And this is what you guys deal with in your own life. Things are going to keep gnawing at you like a gnat, like the biggest pain in the ass to expand. And I said, wait, I have all the ability to do this. I have the responsibility to do this. I can do this for myself. And it's been years since I've come from that. And Jack Canfield gave a great recipe for us to overcome those sort of fears, per se, that we all deal with when going over the hill, per se, and seeing that transformation that we've always wanted to be and wanted to have and wanted to do in life. He mentioned you only have control over 3 things in your life, which is great because it makes it simple. You don't got to remember a lot there, meatball. The thought you think, the images you visualize, and the actions that you take. What did I just go through with the last 5-6 minutes? Exactly what I did before I learned and saw what he wrote inadvertently. And I love how things come to me. So think about what he said in the first sentence. The thoughts you think. That's one of the 3 things that we have control of is our thoughts. We have complete and utter control what we're putting into this mental monster and this power tool that we are equipped with every day. The environment you surround yourself with. Think about in my case, what was my environment? A bunch of people who really didn't care about life anymore. That's why I didn't really fit in there. They never really saw me. I never really left the friggin' place when I was there. I wouldn't conform. I wouldn't go out for the so-called beer parties that they had every night in their car trunks that they would pop open from all the beer they stole. I didn't feel right there, and I never felt right in situations like that. But at the same time, the next words out of there, the next one, the images you visualize. Olivia and I were having this conversation. You don't have to see exactly what you're trying to attain. And this is what helped me tremendously to understand. Because I thought I was doing it all wrong. They say you have to visualize to actualize. I get it. Some people can do it. I don't do it very well, per se. But what I am really good at, and what I told Olivia to be really good at, was just be the image you want to be. Feel it. Live it. Act it. As much as you can. You don't have to see it to bring it to you. But you have to be it to bring it to you. Your being, your whole person, your whole soul has to be. And that frequency all the time, as much as you can, to bring that reality to you. And finally, the last one, the actions you take. And this one was a hard thing for me because I was always so frugal, being brought up that nothing was ever enough. And I lived with that mindset. I bought to that mindset. I did my life around that mindset. And I kept remanifesting that mindset. Hence what I read before in those set of words about the steps in life. It's when you get past that, you graduate to a higher level of where you want to go, that's when you start attracted to it. You don't have to know the way, how you're going to get there. Just be the way, and the way will be made. So follow your dreams, follow your desires, be it most importantly in all you do. Act it, think it, do everything right about it like I do every day, and it's going to manifest somehow, some way. It may not come out exactly how people like yourselves who can visualize really the lucid dreamers. The only lucid dream I had was I won the lottery 3 times. And literally, I woke up. So, who knows? That might be in the cards for me. But actually, you know, when you have something with that much clarity, it's inevitable. Something like that's going to happen. Believe me, you're going to see shows about that on America's Mentor about me. But point being is, that's the biggest problem I see people having. I can't visualize. You don't have to. You don't have to see it. You don't have to. Just got to be it. Because the more you be it, the more you feel it, the more you think about it, you're going to start creating better images about it. Does that make sense? You don't actually know how the chicken's going to look when you go to a restaurant, but you're thinking about all the chicken you had in the past, and you're creating a vision of it, and you finally get to the restaurant, it kind of looks the same. And it still tastes delicious, guys. So think about it. Think about it for yourself in life. You only have control of over 3 things. The 3 main things in life. This is the beauty of it. The thoughts you think, the images you visualize, and the actions you take. Those 3 steps that Jack Canfield presented in that little synopsis that I wrote about in one of his books was fantastic. It's a great recipe because when you realize what you're thinking, you realize what you're actually seeing in your mind. If you're thinking shit, all you're going to see around you, you're not going to see any good around you. Even though it might be the most beautiful thing in the world, you're still going to think it's shit because that's what you think about. And most importantly, the actions you take. What actions are you taking every day? It could be as simple as a 5-minute walk, a 20-minute drive, writing in your journal, meditating, like I mentioned last night. Meditating is just another form of passionate thinking. I mean, you can do that every single day for yourself. So really grasp that. The universe, but remember this though, if you don't grasp it, you have this option. I'll read it to you one more time. The universe will put you in the same situations over and over until you learn. A lot of us don't want to learn. We just keep hitting the wall and wonder why we're hitting it. When you start realizing why you're hitting the wall, why these obstacles keep coming to you, why you keep attracting the wrong people in your life, in essence, it's the thoughts that you think, the images you hold of yourself, and the actions you take. That simple recipe right there can change everything for you. So think about it for yourself. Grab a few breadcrumbs of this. Grab everybody's breadcrumb who's sending out shit like this. There's thousands of us out there. Learn as much as you can about yourself, and you realize what you're bringing to yourself, guys. So America's Mentor _radio on Instagram, at America's Mentor on Twitter, guys. Follow me, Jerry Maldonado 2 on Facebook for unique information to help you to your destination. We all deserve what we want in life, guys. Don't ever doubt your abilities, because your abilities are your possibilities. Think about it for yourself, guys. Happy Friday to you, and I'll talk to you guys soon, man.